Is it going? Did you click live?
There we go. We're live. Paul Colligan. How are you doing, brother?
Better now. I'm live with Mike. One of my big dreams. Yes.
Woo! All right. So you are here right now because we're going to be talking about something we're super excited about. It's 10 AI-powered marketing tools. And if you haven't been exploring these or checking them out or playing with them, what we're going to do is we're going to satisfy a little curiosity today. We're going to demonstrate some things that are really, really useful in your production life. And we're talking about podcast audio production, video production, also for direct marketing. And Paul's got some cool stuff. I've got some cool stuff. We're going to demonstrate. We're going to walk it through. We're going to share our screen. And Paul, and also, if you're just joining us, make sure you introduce yourself in chat because if you have any questions, pop them up here. And Paul and I will answer them as we move along. Introduce yourself. So let's talk about this, Paul. What are you excited about?
I know we're hitting 10 and we got to go fast, but I want to say something here that's really, really key. You and I have always been about the blatant exploitation of tech to do our bidding. And, we've always been about, if we can buy a gizmo or a gadget or a piece of software to get the work done, you and I have been about that since day one, probably in high school. Okay. And this episode is interesting because there is one piece of tech, but it has AI built into it. This is now getting the smarts of this next revolution of computing to once again do our bidding. We talked about Elon Musk a couple of episodes. Elon Musk is afraid that the AI is going to take over. I'm not. The AI is mine. It does my bidding, and we're going to chat about that. At the heart of AI doing our bidding is a thing called GPT-3. Mike, talk to us.
All right. So GPT-3 is a platform that was designed. Here's basically what it is. It's a really, really smart service. Think of it like AWS from Amazon. And it stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which is an auto-regressive language model that uses deep learning to produce human-like text.
Nerds!
Right. Yeah. Now, here's all it means. Why it's so cool is you can feed this thing a whole bunch of data. You can send it audio, video, text, huge volumes, and it starts organizing it and seeing patterns. And then you can say, hey, I want you to write text copy for me, marketing stuff. It'll create art. You can basically instruct it. If you showed it a whole bunch of chairs and then a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables, and you say, I want an avocado chair, it will make one for you because it learns how to classify all this stuff.
And Avocado Chair was my favorite band in the 90s.
I'll tell you what. And
sorry, it just had
what was their hit? It's Guaca Who? No. And
exactly.
What I love about it, and oh, by the way, this was created by a company called OpenAI. Elon Musk had his hands in it at first. He's since left because he thought it was getting too scary and they were being a little too opaque about it. I think things have been more or less straightened out, but here's what is important. You can go there, you can apply for access to this tool if you're a developer, and it's free or really cheap.
Right.
Let's just talk about why you should care and on a practical, tactical basis. I think the primary reason is because it is truly revolutionizing marketing, advertising, and copywriting in a fairly short period of time. What you're going to start seeing more and more is all kinds of tools that are just going to do work for you. And instead of talking about it, let's just show it off, Paul. So do you want to show your screen? And I know you've got a couple things you're going to show off first, and then I'm going to do it too. Make sure you do the Command++ to make your screen bigger. There you go. Awesome.
So my project manager yells at me on a regular basis, Paul, we need more copy. Paul, we need more copy. Paul, we need more copy. Now, the problem about copy is, you got to pay copywriters to write it for you. I took some basic copy about our clarity call process, which is the first step that we take on clients. We go through a process to give them, get this, Mike, clarity. I cut and paste my crappy product description, and I'll admit it, I'm not the copywriter. I cut and pasted into this tool, and they rewrote using the AI DA, attention, interest, desire, action, attention, interest, desire, action. They wrote my copy for me.
Is it good?
It's better than I did, and I got to change a couple of things, but it sure started the spinning going. It sure started the basic stuff going. And the fact of the matter is, Desire, we can help make sure that every step of the production process is well planned and executed, so when it comes for launch day, all eyes are on you. It's not bad. Not bad at all. And the fact of the matter was, this came, and I wrote no desire in my copy. I'm unfortunate. I'm Mr. Functional. I never write the stuff that goes to the human experience. So the fact that it was able to pull that desire right out, and it was able to write that copy for me, that I can hand to somebody else to clean up. So this tool, Conversion.ai, wrote this for me just by cutting and pasting what I had done. And the great thing is we have lots of versions of it. You can scroll through all the different versions they gave me. And the fact of the matter is, in this, something that will work. Now, I am not done. I'm not going to cut and paste this onto my webpage, but the fact of the matter is, if I paid a copywriter $500, $1,000, I wouldn't cut and paste that to my webpage either. This is the starting point. And whenever you can pay a few bucks to have a starting point, pay a few bucks to have a starting point.
That's what I've found is all this stuff is a great way to get the ball rolling. If you've got any writer's block or you procrastinate, it'll at least give you some ideas, or it'll give you something to look at and you'll go, man, that is pure unadulterated crap.
Right.
But at least you can tell it's pure unadulterated crap.
Right.
So I'm a big fan of good enough and just get started and quit making excuses and quit BSing yourself. So,
and $29 to have someone write your first round of copy.
All right. So what's the name of that one? Let's pop that in.
.ai.
Okay.
Richard here says, hey, that's sweet. Even if it was only 80%, we can clean up the rest. Yeah. And I'm finding it actually a little bit more to the tune of about 90%. But you got to fine tune this stuff. It does remind me. The great thing is that it has all these copywriting formulas built into it. And it's really solid stuff. And so that is my number one pick. I think it is pretty impressive. Mike, there's a bunch of others. You've got some in that genre, right?
Yeah. I'm going to show you one that I am actually very impressed with. So I'll first say a lot of these are junk. I get excited about them. I'm going to show you one that I got really excited about. I went all out, and then the quality is just horrible, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that it writes, but I'm going to show you something I'm actually pretty impressed with, and I'm going to demonstrate this live, and I haven't even done this as a test yet, so you're going to see something happen, and it might be junk, it might be good, but first of all, the name of this critter is something called Magic Sales Bot. Now, I've talked about this in the past, but it's just gotten better, and I've been in touch with the author. So here it is. You go in and you give, it'll go out and write emails for you, but intelligently. So I put in my company name, Superpower Accelerator, and then what value we provide. Well, we help business owners who sell complex products to sophisticated customers, create unique Category 1 brands that stand out and get attention, elevate your authority, reputation, and status, reach a larger audience, increase sales, and multiply your impact. All right. So I got someone who wrote to me on LinkedIn, and I actually started the conversation, but she came back, and here we go. And her name's Anouk Gottlieb, CEO at Belgian Boys. Well, I did a little research, found the website, and it's non-GMO European sweets and treats. Now, the truth is, I don't know if she'd be a right fit client for me or not, but I don't care. I'm going to do a little test here. So all I do is I grab the domain, copy it, go back to my Magic Sales Bot, paste in the link, and click on create emails. So my goal is set up a meeting or a call. Okay. And I press the button. Now what this thing's doing is it's looking for all of the leads that are associated with this business. It's researching them. Okay. So it found unknown to our data sources. Okay. So that's not great, but it did find some stuff. Belgian Boys on Twitter. What are you doing there, Paul? There we go.
I was trying to just you in the screen, but oh well.
Yeah. What you can do is you click on my head down below, and then you say solo layout. Oh, okay. And then you do there, other person. I think
let's not worry about it. Let's just do the show.
There's a way to do this damn thing. Just a second. If you drag me over here like that, and then we do solo, then I go like that or like this. You'd have to remove yourself. I don't know, Paul. What the hell do I know? All right. We're using StreamYard, by the way. So here's what happened, though. This is cool. So it found a bunch of the connections through LinkedIn, got the emails. Usually it will actually find their social and all kinds of news sources that they're in. So say, I'm a fan of how you're changing the snack industry with your unique products. Been following Belgian Boys for years, seeing the growth from day one. How are you ensuring all your executives the same page so you can hit the ground running in this next chapter? I imagine that Belgian is a unique company with a unique product. Helps you create a brand that stands out. We've helped, a little bit of credibility down here. Love the shit. So that's the first one. If there's a referral, I'm a fan. How you've been able to grow your business. Imagine. So these aren't there isn't a big group here, but if I would have popped in a domain that would have had more news, it would actually go out and find the news and customize the emails based upon that information in the news. It's pretty impressive. And
again, if it gets you 80% of the way there, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Get you 90% of the way there, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yep. I think it's pretty good. So there we go. What do you think of that? We're on stage right now, Paul. Now we're back to back.
Look at that. Look at us on stage. How cool we are. Mm-hmm. All right. Should we talk about the next one?
Yeah. Mario just said, have you used Crystal Nose before? Yes, I have. For people who don't know Crystal Nose, this is a tool that will actually determine someone's personality profile from LinkedIn information. Pretty sexy. So it's a great way to get some insight about someone. It's based upon DISC, I believe. But yeah, very interesting. I love it.
All right.
Go ahead, Paul. Next one.
So when Mike, let's see here. There we go. Look at that, Mike. I'm figuring these things out. One of these days, you and I, we should get into business, if you will.
Tell you what, first day with the new hands and the new brain.
Exactly. When Mike and I were putting together this thing, Mike asked for my headshot, which is normal. And I sent Mike the headshot. And Mike said, hey, can you remove that thing from, what are you doing, Mike?
I'll tell you what, first day with the new hands.
There we go. Can you remove the background from that thing? I'll have my designer remove the background from that thing, which is a very typical process. But the fact of the matter is, Spark by Adobe, and this is the free version. Check this out. If I want to add an image, and this is about as big as I can get here with all the stuff that we've got, I can grab a piece of free photo and I can do something like, businessman. Oh boy. Type. Okay. So, we take this guy. Okay. Now the problem is if I don't want a gray background, but I want this image, I can click remove background, bam. And it removes the background, which is what used to pay a designer to do. And now it's that guy in the background on white. And now I can move him and I can do whatever the heck it is that I want to do.
Hey, what are you doing with my banana there, Paul?
Exactly. Now, what's interesting here is if I want to do some text and I want to do something along the lines of, hands off. I don't know. I'm just big, going live. Now, that looks ugly. That font match, that's ridiculous. That's silly. But down here in the right-hand corner, find new style. How about that? Or how about that? Or how about that? Or how about that? And then it begins to pick color schemes based on the matching stuff that's inside of the photo. And this is huge, especially if you're someone like me who is colorblind. And so, now I've got the abilities to grab things that actually work in tune with what I'm doing. And I could even go here, click this button, and it'll even give me colors from the current palette. So if I want to get something in that color, I can do that or that or that. So I can very quickly design a graphic. I can pull stuff out of the background. I can make things large. I can find different fonts. I can pick new styles. All done, things that I used to have a designer do for me is now all done with Spark.post from or Adobe Spark, spark.adobe.com. And that is the tool there. Now, what's interesting is it'll build Instagram story graphics for you, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, photo collages, presentations, slideshows. All of that is there inside of this system. So again, I can pay someone to take out the background, and I could even Fiverr it. Remember the cool days when the answer to every single question in our world was Fiverr? Now I can click a freaking button. And click a freaking button is even better than Fiverr. And so this is a way to build things really quickly. Now you get something like Spark in the hands of a designer who knows what they're doing, and you quadruple their output. So I'm a big fan of Spark. What say ye, Mike?
Well, Tamara put in the other one that you had talked about too, remove.bg, which also removes backgrounders.
Yeah, the funny thing, remove.bg takes it out. You got to pay after like 5 or so. This one's even free, and it does that one alone. This builds, graphics all the way around it. And by the way, point a gun to my head and tell me to make a YouTube background. I got to Google like the size of the YouTube background, but when I do it inside of Spark, it's already done.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to show you another little one right now, which is really similar to the one you were showing earlier. So this one is called Copysmith.ai. So basically what you do is they've got all sorts of little things you can do. Let's say, so here they got blog ideas, blog intros, again, very similar to what you were showing earlier. Outlines, bullet point expanders. Here's ads. It'll write Instagram, Facebook, Google ads, LinkedIn ads. That's fairly new. This I like, an ADA framework, attention, interest, desire, action, YouTube video description. That's kind of interesting. Brand essence, unique value proposition, which I'll show you in a moment. Pitch yourself, content rewriter. It's good stuff. And I've found it's actually not too bad. So right before we began here, I went out and I grabbed one, unique value proposition. So again, I just grabbed the Superpower Accelerator. I typed in we help business owners to sell complex products. Okay, just that little blurb. And then it'll, look, we can change the way you think about selling. Yeah, it's not bad. Sales of all kinds are changing fast. Challenges are getting bigger. Teach you how to identify your unique value product. So that's not great, but it's not horrible. Get noticed. Become an authority and create a category 1 brand. Not at your industry, but you can see little nuances are kind of jacked up. But what they've done in their particular model, I know what they're doing is they have been grabbing ads and copy and content from all over the internet, building massive libraries. And so what they do is the GPT-3 algorithm is smart enough to know patterns, and and it follows and models what you already see and gives you multiple things to pick from. So I'm pretty impressed with it, Paul. This is usable. I actually pay for this every month. I haven't tried the YouTube video description yet, but I'm going to just give that a shot. Keywords. Here's what we could do. I can go over to our I'm going to have to not share my screen for a second because I don't want everyone to see what's going to come next. But if I were going to grab the 10 AI-powered marketing tools, I'm going to use that as the YouTube description here, and see what it comes up with. Okay. Oops.
And again, remind us which one this is, and I'll put a link.
Okay, this one is Copysmith.ai. So here we go. So the keywords are AI. Oops, not AK. Damn it. AI marketing tools. Let's see, GPT-3. I don't want to use GPT-3, but I'll stick it in there and we'll see what it comes up with. 10 AI marketing tools. 10, and I'll say that are affordable and easy to use. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Copywriting shortcuts. We could do machine learning. And how about marketing automation? Good enough for now. Oh, let's give this thing a little bit of fuzz. Hit generate. And while this thing is pooping along, okay, these powerful AI marketing tools are inexpensive and listen to feel weeks proven training that no good. Best tools in market that will give you an edge over your competition. Seize control of your business, spend less time on repetitive tasks like that's not bad.
Yeah.
I think seize sucks. I wouldn't do that. That's kind of shizzly. But when you hard it, it can start writing for you. Yeah.
Ooh.
So you can hit generate more.
Ooh. Okay.
This one's suck right now. That's poopy. There are huge benefits using it in your efforts. You're going to learn what happens in your business. Okay. Not bad. Keen. Anytime someone uses keen in their sentence, I think they should be bludgeoned. At least lose the thumb. Get rid of that. Keen's not allowed. Tried thousands of marketing tools over the years. 10 that have been successfully used by marketers. Not bad, not good. And then you could just copy it and use it. When it comes to marketing. When it comes to constipation, we recommend colon blow. I don't think I would use that one either, but you get free access to yeah, but anyway, not too bad though, Paul.
No, not at all. And again, it's that start in the process.
Totally. Yeah. This would at least get us going, and then I just give this thing, I'll copy this, and then I know what it is. But I mean, I'd use a little chunk of it. It doesn't have a lot of personality, but it's better than a kick in the what.
Yep. And better than what you're going to get from Fiverr. Better than what you're going to get from Fiverr. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not written in, well, I'm not going to say it.
Exactly. All right, let's hit, we've got 10, we've hit 2. Let's have some fun here. So cameras, live, we're in the Zoom days. We are in a situation now where you want to look fairly decent. And I've spent, that camera was $1,000. This lighting was a couple of $100. It was optimized. It was streamlined, a bunch of other things. Not that bad. Amazing what we can do. But let me show you something here. This is the portal device from Facebook. And this is their version of the home, call grandma, that kind of thing. Now, I went through this process initially trying to find something for my folks right now, a way to communicate with them during the COVID days. This product for dealing with people with dementia absolutely sucks. But what's amazing is the camera is fantastic, and it is an AI-controlled camera. What does that mean? When I talk to my folks, sometimes, you get this kind of camera shot, or you get these prompts. It focuses in, it fixes the focus, it fixes the framing, it fixes the lighting, it fixes the sound. If you're far away, brings it up. If you're close up, brings it down. It is a cameraman or a camera woman, and it is a very good one. Now, Paul, do I have to do it on Facebook? No, these things do Zoom. If you find yourself on a Zoom situation when you're working with somebody, this thing will run Zoom. This thing will run WhatsApp, which is a fine thing when you're bringing in somebody remotely and that type of thing. So now you can have an entire controlled video situation. That door you see behind me, I did a whole video where I did a whole Mr. Rogers thing where I had the music. I came in through the door. It zoomed in on the door. And then as I came to the thing with the music running, it handled everything for me. Now, what's interesting here is, first of all, never pay retail. I've seen the Portal Mini as low as $89. And what's fun is the camera in all of these, well, and in the device versions, it's the same camera. The price difference in these is how far the camera pans, which you're in an office kind of situation doesn't matter at all, and how big the screen is. But so for $129, and that's retail, there's all sorts of ways to even bring that down. You've got a cameraman for you for your Zooms and for that kind of thing. And it's run by AI, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm a big fan of this. We have 3 right now at the household. And, if I've done many events, mine's right there. And that's
has Facebook started stealing money from your bank accounts yet?
Not yet. We're hoping. Well, one of the beautiful things about this device is when you're not using it, you unplug it And I would recommend that highly.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm not showing this one right now, because it is unplugged and not functional, because there we go. But it is certainly an option for you to play with.
Yeah. I've got one. I still haven't plugged it in.
Yep.
You know, I'm having a hard time just getting over the fact that how much I hate Facebook. I just think it's
there
evil.
is that. I'm just, you know,
I think they should rename it to Satan's Anus. But that's just
which
me.
was also one of my favorite bands in the 90s. So
Yeah, exactly. Those guys were out of control. So
all right, let's chat about our next one. Okay. Aphonic. This is an old school one, but it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I just downloaded a version of this off the App Store the other day. What the hell's the name of the? Yeah, you do your thing, and then I'll find it, because I literally just downloaded it yesterday. Go ahead.
In the old days, you know, last year, no, Aphonic's been around for a while, but it's one of my favorites. You record something, and if you don't have the good situation, if you don't have the mic, if you haven't pre-configured everything, getting people on the same volume, getting people with the background noises removed, getting all this stuff, you need a good old-fashioned sound engineer to spend a great deal of time to make the audio sound good. Aphonic is all cloud-based. It's all over in Europe, believe it or not. You can send them your audio and they will clean it up. They will level it. They will make the music not so loud. They do all these things. And it's an entire part of your workflow. And what's amazing now is, internally to what we're doing, every single project that we produce goes through Aphonic for all the cleanup before it goes to mastering. And we pay them $100 a month or something for the hour. And we use a lot of hours of the podcast part. You can probably get in for 15, 20 a month. And but the fact of the matter is, this saves me hundreds of hours of audio engineer time. Hundreds of hours, which is not at a $20 or even a $100 a month type of bill. So it's a simple one, but it is great. You know, as you can see here, it levels, loudness normalization. Oops, did the wrong screen here. Hold on. Boop, boop, boop. You know, has all the good stuff. And it's basically, you know, your own lower level sound engineer running this stuff for you.
Great.
It's one of my favorites.
I love it. And it does multi-track stuff too, huh?
It does multi-track, and multi-track for the same price.
Wow.
So you get yourself a Rode Procaster, you know, you do everybody on multi-track, you load up everything, and you tell it, hey, I want the music to duck, you know, and it'll clean it up on the multi-tracks. Then you send it to someone to master if you're going that route. But they're the best. I know the team. Yeah, it's just fantastic stuff. And the beautiful thing is, it's all cloud. So what's really fun, Mike, is if your editor is not at your physical location, your editor could put all this stuff in Dropbox. Aphonic could pull that out of Dropbox, can clean it up, put the new cleanup in Dropbox, and then you download that. So none of this attaching files and all that nonsense. It's the cloud plus audio AI coming together, and I am a big fan.
Okay. I like that. Like I said, there was something I saw that does something like it. It's Levelator.
Yeah, Levelator. That's the old school. Levelator was the first thing to come out like this. It went away for a while, and they're back.
They came back. I just saw it because I thought I downloaded it, but it didn't. I was looking for the damn thing.
Did they do an app version of it, or is it just on the desktop?
There is. Here, I'll show you.
Oh man.
Let me share my screen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Here we go. Almost there. And App Store. Okay. And
the true story of the Levelator.
Yeah.
They did the big, not Paul Bunyan, John Henry. They did the whole John Henry test where they put the Levelator up against a programmer. And guess what? The sound engineer said Levelator's better, and then he quit his job and walked away. So that's the Mac App Store. So it's on the desktop.
Yeah, right there, and it's free.
Yeah.
So why not? And it was just updated 8 months ago, so that ain't bad.
Yeah.
So it's just another little goodie, and you just drop your audio file on it. And I've actually got a when we get around to sharing our little goodie that we have, I'll grab the 4 Live with Mike. There's your audio. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't like it for some damn reason.
Yeah, actually, Levelator requires an uncompressed audio.
Oh, okay.
And I sent you an MP4, so.
Or MP3. Yeah, that's okay. I've actually got, Screw them.
Levelator's amazing. Levelator's absolutely amazing. It was funny. I was when they premiered it.
That part that made them deserving of hell just a moment ago, and uncompressed audio. It's like, come on, you jackasses! It's like, God.
Audio nerds, you know how it is. All right. Yeah. So this one is going to be interesting. We'll see if we can pull this off. I think we can. Richard actually
I made a little video to play to go along with it.
What was that?
I made a little video to play along with this thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready,
go ahead.
Say it again.
Speak to Richard's question here before we go live.
Oh yeah. He's wondering what are we using? So let me just
as I go into Descript, I can simply type some content into the.
Ignore that. I just wanted to make sure I had it. There we go.
You got it.
So what are we using here? We're using a product called StreamYard. StreamYard is I love it. There's one thing I hate about it, but other than that, I love just about everything else. So basically it's a browser-based tool that you can have. I think you can do like 8 or 10 guests now. You can do the Hollywood Squares style like we're doing. You can do screen sharing like we were doing earlier. And you can broadcast to a lot of locations. So one of the things that I did is I gave Paul access to this thing. He added all of his social channels. So we're broadcasting to my YouTube, your YouTube, my Periscope, your Periscope, our Facebook pages. We've got the personal page as well as the business page. If I didn't say YouTube, also it supports LinkedIn Live. If you can get that, I've got it. You've been waiting for how long, Paul?
I haven't submitted yet. So yeah.
You might as well start now because it'll take a year until you get approved.
That's what I've heard.
They're just bastards, but it's nice because it aggregates all of your chat from multiple places. So, for example, Mario's here, Tamara's here, Greg's on watching from YouTube. Here's Richard. Is that the one that Hopen bought? Restream. Okay, yeah, I think you can go to Restream, but you don't need to. And here's the other thing that it does that is slick is it'll broadcast and then you can download the recording afterwards. 2 things blow about it. First of all, it's not a multi-track recorder, meaning everything that we're doing here is just one big blobby video file. When we get done, you can download just the audio or the combined video. And then the other thing is it's browser based. I don't trust anything in a browser. Never have, never will. They're big, fat memory hogs and resource hogs, and it's just a matter of time before they get you in some trouble. But I don't know of a slicker, faster, easier way to do interviews, especially if you're working with multiple people. Paul, what do you think about it?
It's absolutely fantastic when it works. It's hiccuped on me before. That's the problem with browser-based stuff. By inherently browser-based stuff will get you into trouble. But I've seen it do more and more solid. Like this is our 3rd show of 3, and it's been absolutely fantastic for us. So
no problems.
I'm a big fan. Oops. Sorry, we're setting up our next demo. I'm using Ecamm Live for my presentation. I've got a Canon DSLR plugged in by USB. I've got the whatever this cheap mic is. This is a $60 mic. If you go to podcastpartnership.com/recommends, that's all the stuff we recommend. People always go, you can't do it cheap. You can. Room is fixed a little bit. I'm close to it. I have that radio DJ voice kind of thing. And it works there. But and then Mike, you're using what to stream?
You mean for so
tech-wise, like camera, microphone, mixer?
Oh yeah. Right now I'm using the I've used the Shure the SM7B, which is a classic broadcast mic. I run it into a Rodecaster Pro, which sounds amazing, and I'm using a GH5 camera today, Panasonic, and I've got 4 of them in my studio here. So if I didn't have some weird jacked up stuff happen, literally 2 minutes before we started broadcasting, I would have given you the big tour. Yeah. But I found another limitation of StreamYard, which it is not NDI compatible, but that is way too nerdy for this show. Yes, right. Christopher said it right. Blatant exploitation attack. But
okay.
Yeah. Well,
let's
you want to
keep
show
going.
this cool thing? I'm looking forward to it because I use
Okay.
this tool too. It's badass. If there was one thing that just like gives me the tippy taps, it's this.
So Descript is an interesting tool, Descript.com.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Mike, you and I both met the CEO.
Yeah.
You and I both walked away going, one day this will work.
Yeah. Someday it's going to be cool.
And then one day I called you and said, hey, Mike, guess what? It actually works. Now it does a number of things. I'm going to show its most AI of things that it does. If you want to get the look, go to Descript.com, watch their video. It explains it really well. But there's this concept inside of Descript of what they call, I can't even remember the name of it. Anyway, you can use Descript to record your own voice. So I'm going to go to Descript and I'm going to type in some things.
Yeah. You tell me when you're ready.
So I'm typing in a line here. And go ahead, Mike.
And later convert it into my voice. In this particular instance, I'm going to cut and paste.
Oh, let me start from the start. I'll start it again. Here we go.
So as I go into Descript, I can simply type some content into the system and later convert it into my voice. In this particular instance, I'm going to cut and paste because there is nothing more boring than watching someone type something into a computer. As you can see, it's pretty easy to do. And yes, Descript is everything for me. And perhaps even more fun, the entire audio you're listening to right now was created by Descript. Mike, do you think this just might make podcasting easier one day?
So, Mike, we've got a little bit.
I hate people. That's the first thing, and I don't need them anymore.
Little bit of tech, but basically, what you guys heard, we did not do a good job of them there. We had some other technical difficulties, but that audio that you heard was not me. I'll say that again. That audio that you heard was not me. That was Descript with that text that I typed in on the screen that you guys took a look at. It read that. And again, I'm not quite sure what's going on the screen thing. But long story short, I can now give it a paragraph and it does my voice. And the fact of the matter is that gets interesting. Take an article, write it. But where it gets really interesting in the podcasting space is there have been times where a client says the 21st when they mean the 19th.
Yeah.
We have a client who, we had this famous instance. We have a health client who got glucogen and glycogen mixed up on one of the podcast episodes. And do not get glucogen and glycogen mixed up. And the editing of that was a mess. You could literally go in with the script, select glucogen, change it with glycogen, and go from there. And so what's amazing here is that this now does my voice. I've sent my kids text voices in this voice done by that. You could take any of my old books. Mike, we could take one of our old books and we could run it through this thing, and then we could have the book to tape version of all this and from there.
How's the inflection? Because I haven't trained mine yet. And how much? First of all, so for everyone, one of the things you have to do with this is you have to go into Descript, and it gives you something and you read it, and they're like a minimum of 10 minutes, 30 minutes to 90 minutes is what they recommend. How much time did you spend?
Yeah, I did purposefully because I want to show different demos of this. This is 30 minutes of training.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to train it maybe over the weekend and get it done. What I think it is great about it is I have a tendency when I haven't slept enough or I haven't meditated or I've just got too much stuff going on, I have jumble mouth, and I will, I'll get too far ahead of myself, and I'm thinking 7 sentences ahead, and I'm speaking 7 sentences backwards. And I can occasionally just like mumble jumble some stuff up or get my inflection wrong or whatever. And the other thing that's great about Descript is it's got an filter as well. I don't know if it'll do 20-year-old girl.
You can do you can find the filler words and you give it the filler words. It finds and replaces all the filler words.
Kind of
And it even trims the audio on both sides, because if you cut that out straight, audio engineer style, you get a block, it trims it. It's fantastic. It's so good. And it changes a number of things. You can fix mistakes. You can deal with, mumble mouth Mike. You can do a whole bunch of things. Kim, that's Descript, DESCRIPT.com. And Mike, go ahead and type that in.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, this is the next level of that. And it is AI on your side. And it is what you want and what you need at this place in the game. It's not just for pranking your kids. I'll tell you that. But that's where we go from there. This is the future of this stuff. And again, I mean, truth be told, Mike, mutual friend, Jeff Smith in Nashville. Jeff, if you're watching, hello. We edit in Descript. We export it in a Pro Tools project. And then Jeff, the sound engineer, he masters it. Because, we're still not at a point, although mastering AI is getting pretty good as well. But, right now, the work's done. It's cleaned up, it's fixed up, it's done. And then just the last thing about this bit, imagine this. And we're doing it next week with a client of ours to have some fun. Don't tell them. We're taking the AI copywriting, we're taking their voice, and we're having an AI written ad in an AI generated voice of the client. That gets really, really interesting. So you're having your clients do them too. What do they charge extra per year per client for additional voices? I haven't checked that yet. Right now, it's $100,000 a month for that type of situation. So what some have done in the industry, because of all the legal issues, some have sent the client a laptop with the software installed, and then the client trains it on the laptop and then sends the laptop back to you.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way to do it right now, without paying the enterprise level. But it's 100 because they're waiting. The legal issues of this are massive and huge.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
And so they're trying to figure out the legal issues. They figure if somebody pays $100,000 a month, they'll just give that to the lawyers and go from there. But so the enterprise level of this is just not ready for prime time yet.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of I'll just go down one tiny rabbit hole here, but it's relevant. There's a guy named, and I'll get into my next little demo, but there's a guy I follow. His name's Shelley Palmer. He's very, very smart. He did this article. Let's see it was yesterday, weaponizing deepfakes. And so he does this whole shtick about a smear campaign. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yep.
But and by the way, he's using Premiere has built-in a text recognition now.
Yep.
So that's what he's got going on in the background.
Yep.
Anyway, it's really cool. And some mommy, a bad mommy, created some deep fakes. And then if you haven't seen the Tom Cruise deep fakes, they were really freaking good. And there's a lot to be scared about and worry about right now with these things. But let me get on to another app that I'm not impressed with. Okay. And I paid for this. I signed up for it. I love the idea. So the whole idea is you meet new customers on autopilot with AI. And during my annual thing, I was super excited about it because basically what it does is here you input your customer filters. You say, here's who I'm looking for, the industry, the company types. You press a button and it finds a bunch of matches. Then it sends personalized invitations for you, and it does some research on them based upon their work history. And then it tries to provide some value and then a link to get you to schedule. Okay. So, and then they've got a landing page. Okay. So it sounds really good, right? I'm going to show you the landing page. So they kind of made something for me, and I'll just tell you right off, it's 411 books so far, 10 available. So basically they're relying on, how can I say this any other way? It's BS but it's like, here's what you're going to get, pick your slot, so they kind of lie to the people about what's going on. That's part of their scarcity tactic, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like BS. Now I want to show you their crap copy. Okay. So this is an example of copy that's bad. And I want to give them a chance, but I went in there and my brain hurt because the copy was so crappy. So here's an example. It's a real person. Hi, collaborative fun must be crushing this year. It's like, oh, for God's sakes. I am inviting a few people like you with similar backgrounds to join us to the following. Following what? We've included a few others from your alma mater too. No, we haven't. It's bullshit, right? Don't lie. I love your company's focus on startups. I found something on the news that you may like. Making a living from Zoom add-ins would have been impossible a year ago, but it's like, what the hell is this garbage? And then, and they're all just crap. So again, I love the idea. Execution is hideous. So this is an example of what not to do. Now, they say we can edit the email sequences, but it's just too rotten. And it's so bad I can't fix it. So that's one example of something I'm not impressed with. Do you want to see one more that I am?
Yeah,
of course you are. I showed this during the my predictions webinar this year. This is synesthesia. So this is Descript on steroids, because what they are doing, they've got like chat.
Hey there. Synesthesia is the fastest and easiest way to create professional-looking videos. Just like this one, for example. What type of video experience?
Okay, so there's a little bit of it's a little bit off, but they've got artificial characters and actors, these avatars, and you give it a script and it'll write something for you. But here's what's cool: 40 different languages. So if you're, trying to do business in another country, you could pick an artificial actor, give it a script, it'll translate it and make a video that's probably going to be good enough. 40 different avatars, and they really look like real people.
Well, and what's interesting here is, yes, if you study them, you can figure things out. But here's the thing. Have you ever used a call center before?
Yeah.
Boy, talk about lack of authenticity. Like I'd pick one of these stars over a call center person any day.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. True that. And then you can give it your own voice if you want it, or a synthetic voice. And some of the stuff they're doing, plus they've got an API, but it's impressive, really impressive. I've been pretty darn blown away so far. And there we go, how it works. But yeah, it's worth checking out. So I think we're looking at the beginning of, on a positive note, it's going to make it a hell of a lot easier to communicate, create totally personalized messaging communication. And as long as you allow it to happen, you can, of course, create your own deepfake version of you, video and audio, to do hyper-personalized messaging. Now, the obvious problem with this is we are, weeks, months, days, not years away from everything being deep faked and not being able to tell what's real any longer. It's kind of scary. And I think from a marketing and sales perspective, super excited. From a personalized perspective, fear for my children. I'm like, ooh, but there's some tools now available that can spot the deep fakes, but they're not 100%. And I think what you're going to see in a very short period of time here are massive liabilities, and social media companies are going to be required to run deepfake filters, and they're going to be taken to task and probably had the daylight sued out of them for propagating fake news, fake content, and stuff that can destroy reputations. And I wouldn't mind someone ripping down and taking down Zuckerberg personally. I think he's a jackass, but but that doesn't solve the problem, right? One fall guy isn't going to fix the problem, but we're living in some very interesting times right now. And like I said, from a business perspective, super excited about this. But just think about actors. You're going to see artificial actors for real. And then people licensing their voices and bodies out and making royalties from that. What's that have to do with this? But yeah.
And what's funny now is we're seeing, Mike and I are both big Star Wars nerds. And in the last couple, there have been a couple of Star Wars reveals lately that have been the actors and actresses in their older selves done by the Hollywood houses. What's hilarious is go to YouTube and search for these Hollywood house reveals versus a deep fake. And I've seen people with a $600 desktop do better than Hollywood's doing right now.
Yeah.
And
no,
I think that is fascinating and telling. Now, personally, why didn't they just hire one of these guys to do it is one of my questions. But as we look at AI, it could be a whole show about the implications, and they are important, and definitely consider them in everything you're doing. I mean, we're looking at, this one client that we're testing this with. This is a machine that very well might be, scrubbed the second that it is done. Security and these types of things for deep faking is absolutely mandatory and required. And you want to consider these things. And what it is simply, you want to be a step ahead of what's going on. Not 3 or 4, but you want to be a step ahead of what's going on, because then you can know what's going on and how you can respond to it. And I think one of the things that's going to happen in the industry is people are going to realize those clarity makers, for lack of a better term, who are going to help you sort through and sift through this stuff. I think, the old joke was every internet webinar, every marketing webinar used to end with just go to Fiverr, just go to Fiverr. I think that's going to die right now, because you need to know where these things are coming from. I think the technology is, saying yes. I mean, literally, my Facebook portal is turned off because I am so terrified. I'm using their little camera when it's on, and that's it. And do I have a separate account for that? Who knows? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But the fact of the matter is, you want to team and you want to work with someone who has got your back, and that is not going to happen on the grand scale. And there's going to be fall guys left and right. Don't let it be you. And I would suggest that you also don't want to let it be your who's, in the whole world of who, not how. Focus on people who are paying attention to this and are making sense of this. And you will make it, at least further than everybody else. Is Elon right? We all have a meltdown one day. Who knows? But COVID's been, boy, Mike, I've been watching COVID. I've been watching Walking Dead with my kid.
Oh,
watching
really?
all the apocalypse in the time of COVID there's so many layers to that right now that's just fascinating. So we're in some strange times, but team with someone who's making sense of this. Team with someone who's going ahead on this, and I think you'll be at a smarter place. Mike, any thoughts, or should we close it up for everybody?
I think we can wrap it up. I was just getting a couple things ready for us here. Well, first of all, if you've enjoyed this, make sure you like it, subscribe to our channels if you aren't already. That would be awesome. And up arrow and thumbs up and all that. And then we've got some podcasts for you to check out. So why don't you go through and show off your podcast, bring up your banners. You've got first of all, your podcast report right there.
You got to go. There we go. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
The podcast report. That's how you get to the podcast report. That's awesome. You can also get my weekly newsletter. The Heads Up Tuesday comes out every Tuesday at headsuptuesday.com. And of course, if you want Mike's podcast, it's the Big Leap podcast with Gay Hendricks and Mike Koenigs. Gay Hendricks, the guy who wrote the Big Leap. Yes, that's why it's called the Big Leap podcast. And
that's right.
Mike's not bad either. And of course, Capability Amplifier with Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan, is that the guy who has 11 different podcasts right now? Yes, he is, because he's leveraging tech like this and using smart partners like Mike. So thank you, my friend.
Yeah, no, this is a blast. I think we'll have to do more of these. It turned out to be, here's the best thing about this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the best thing you can ever do if you ever decide to do a podcast or show, is get a great sidekick that you can riff with, who can pick up the slack, read your mind, and come to the table both with great content, and then be able to improv either when it doesn't work, or when you create a good conversation, or when you've got great chat material like what you're providing right now. It makes a huge difference. So Paul, I don't know about you, but I think we ought to just plan on doing more of these more frequently. Anytime, and pick some topics.
I'll check my travel schedule.
Yeah.
But I think we might be able to pull this off.
It's good. Easy. That's the thing, is who the hell needs it? And there's a chance that I might be making my way down and spending an extended period of time on the Baja soon. I'm just waiting for my Starlink to show up.
Why not?
And we're
you got
gonna
a time on that? Is that, have they made a promise yet?
With Starlink?
Yeah.
So here's the current status. And for those of you who are not familiar with Starlink, just go to starlink.com. This is Elon Musk's company. He's been launching all these little satellites into space. And right now, especially in like Canada, some of the lower populated areas, rural areas that don't have high-speed internet, you're regularly getting 100 megabit down and anywhere from 10 to 20, 30 up. He promises to have that close to a gigabit by year end. And very soon.
And gigabit anywhere. Gigabit.
Anywhere in the world.
Where are you going?
Yeah. So right on the Baja in Mexico. So it's the Sea of Cortez side, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. And it just so happens to be 2 hours from San Diego. But now that our son, Zach, is 18, you're on the brink of being an empty nester, as are we. We're thinking seriously, I can put together a studio anywhere in the world, a nice video studio. It's not complicated. And I just came back. We did a big production. We were out of town, and I brought a big chunk of my studio with me. It's, you fit everything in 2 suitcases that you'd ever need to do like a 4-camera shoot. And I think this notion of the key things, this is another episode altogether, but I'll give you the kind of the rundown. To me, the internet, high-speed internet's a non-negotiable.
Right.
Having plenty of electricity is a non-negotiable.
Yep.
Clean water,
Right.
access to food, right? And then I think the other thing is, knowing that you've got a decent, septic system that's relatively earth-friendly. So you can get Starlink. It's $500. It's $100 a month for unlimited use. That's pretty exciting. If you get 2 power walls from Elon, which work out to be $12,500 each, so it's $25,000 for 2 of them. You could power a house for a couple of days, and depending on how many
has
solar
pretty
panels you
decent sun for the whole solar thing.
yeah, year round, right? So then you get electronic septic systems, and check this out. I've been doing a lot of research on, there are systems that just pull water straight out of the air. And they're getting more and more affordable. Right now, they're probably $8,000 to $10,000, and we're talking about hundreds of liters a day, even in dry areas. Basically, we'll call it more or less $100,000, $120,000. You could be 100% off grid. And as long as you can grow some food, you're set. You got the rest of it covered. And that means you're not dependent on water, septic, electricity, or internet. And I love that idea. I like the freedom option here, and very excited about that.
You and I, 15 years ago, Vegas, CES, when when Dean Kamen was talking about living off the grid and the expense that he spent to live off the grid. And I saw you salivating then. And, it's really, really close now, and that internet thing is a big, then of course, maybe future episodes of this, crypto and the international money system is kind of getting interested. But yeah, this internet anywhere is the last beat. And everything else is kind of fakeable. And Elon's got it.
You're right. Well, we just got one right now. A second ago, Kim Colt said, yes, many under development. We do. I'll check it out. It's a good example. It does a lot more too. One X Prize water.
There we go.
I may have seen it. DEW X Prize. Okay, water system. Okay, I'll check it out.
See, cool thing, boy, we talked about verification models. Boy, if they win the X Prize model, they've been validated. They've been verified. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. Well, let's. There it is. Wood to energy deploy. Oh yeah, I remember these guys. I met them. Yeah, they won, but they're still having. This one is a biomass. There's the atmospheric, but yeah, it's self-contained way to generate power, and they're in little containers. It's pretty sexy. Gasifies. So it's basically a biomass. Cool idea. I think they're still, I remember talking to the guys, and I'm pretty sure you still can't buy them. So, Great idea. And then Sky Source. Okay, let's see. Oh, is that okay? That's the parent company. There we go. Making water from air. Woo! Love it. Well, Paul,
Thank you, Mike.
what do you say we take this baby home?
Maybe do it again.
Yeah, we will. So if you've enjoyed this, reach out to us. We'll get your messages. You can hit us on all the social channels here. Love us up. And really, it's been a blast. So there we go. Thank you, Justin French. Good to see you too. And thanks for the kind comments. And we will definitely we'll do another one of these soon. So Paul, thank you, my
Mike.
friend.
Chat with you
Everyone
soon.
else, so long. Bye-bye.
Bye now.